Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final 9 holes of the 2020 Cold Turkey 15 presented by Innova Champion Disc. We're at the Gray Fox Disc Golf Course in southeastern Wisconsin, and our leader is Christopher Meyer. Chasing him down is Dustin Skorupinski, Sean Butler, and Robert Martin, along with keeping a little eye on the chase card as this thing closes out, joined again by Matt Parker, a Wisconsin disc golf professional. And Matt, you've played this course a few times. You've played in this event a number of times throughout the years. Looks like we got a good battle going on.
This is going to come down to the end. The front nine, like you said, very scoreable. Chase card's playing well. And you see our current leader, Christopher Meyer.
Anything is possible. Now, here is, I believe, the shortest hole on the course. That's just 182 feet. This is a must-get birdie. Also, here a little bit of wind.
Yeah, it's been relatively calm throughout the front nine, which again was the back nine of the second round.
I'll explain that here in a moment. We're watching our course pro, Sean Butler, just skipping past the basket. Last to tee in a moment here. We're going to have Dustin Skorupinski. I think this is the first backhand drive we've seen of Dustin. He likes to rely on the forehand. I think he should go to that more often. So real quick, I'll explain. The back half of this course plays much tougher. And from a TD perspective, as we watch Sean Butler pick up the birdie, from a TD perspective, I like to put the best players on the tougher side of the course and the not best players on the easy side of the course. That kind of helps with flow. And it just so happens to be like the front and the back are almost like a perfect split in this case. So that's kind of why I start the pros actually on hole 10 as opposed to on hole 1, if that makes sense to you.
And the way this course is split, the parking lot splits holes 1 and 10. So the front and back nine are perfectly split. It's really easy to do. And there's still going to be drama. I mean, holes 6, 7, 8, 9 coming up. You'll see that although the front nine is easier, there's still a lot can happen.
We're watching. Everybody looks like that's going to be a star frame on hole number 1. Dustin with the CTP with his backhand drive. I got to thank my Disc in a Box. If you're shipping discs anywhere, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 of them, reach out to me. I've got a solution for you to keep those discs protected.
And it doesn't have to be Christmas.
No, I'll tell you what step 1 is. All right, so we've got Christopher throwing to... Now, this is a newer pin just in the last couple of years. This used to be an absolute must-get birdie, just barely over the hill, 200 feet away. And the Parks Department took it upon themselves to say, hey, let's create a longer, tougher pin position. And boy, oh boy, did it add a stroke or more to this course.
This is a great addition. You know, we just saw hole 1, you know, like you said, a must-get, shortest hole on the course, at least with this layout, this pin setup. This, you know, like you said, adds a stroke and a half, only 361 feet. But if you're not getting to the mouth or piercing the opening, you're going to be fighting for your par.
Yeah, and you see some conservative shots here. These guys are just trying to stay in the opening, because if you're too far right or left, you're going to have no look at that basket, which also then plays uphill. So disc placement on the tee shot is just absolutely paramount.
You see all these trees that you have to penetrate on your approach. A great disc golf hole.
Also, what I think many would consider a bonus. If you get yourself up there with a look or cash in on a birdie or a 2, it is definitely a bonus birdie. And Sean's just in prime placement right there.
He really is. And he puts that approach just deep of the basket. That'll be a good look for par.
See a few of the leaves blowing around. Now we get into the wooded area. You don't hear it quite as much, but really, really mild afternoon in late November right now. Temperatures in the low 40s.
No, he wanted that. He had the height. He had the power. It just hyzered out on him.
And this is one of the better drives that I've seen since this placement's gone in.
And he looks away from it, and it's rolling.
Ouch.
But yeah, based on that drive, you can see why he's leading the tournament.
Oh, what a painful roll away. This is to save par.
Yes.
Yeah, nice putt there by Christopher Meyer. Wow.
You've got to throw the disc well, but you've also got to be mentally tough, and that shows right there.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be very easy to kind of give up after you've gone from birdie to that much of a look uphill to save the par, but he just gets it in, and very impressive work there by Christopher.
And here's Sean for his 3. And he's in.
Yeah, making it look pretty easy, getting a little some course debris out of the way. Always, once a course pro and steward and maintenance type guy on a course, you always are, no matter what you're doing.
And is he still running leagues out here?
Yeah, Sunday leagues, they have a rotating league. You either play this course or just 3 miles down the road, there's another course that's even more challenging, but equally as beautiful. And they rotate every single Sunday at one or the other courses for pickup doubles. So come check it out in southeastern Wisconsin.
Nice.
And Christopher pulling his tight.
And this Sean is more of the same.
Yeah, this is uphill, and the one mistake you don't want to make is to pull it tight right. And we've seen back-to-back tee shots that way.
On a good drive, Terry, can you see the basket? And maybe a great drive.
Yeah, a great drive can get to the pin here. It's really deceptive that it's 456. It has been done, and it can be done. Robert's shot, for instance, was a good one. You just need more power. And had that not hit the tree and got on top of the hill, that would give him an easy approach. But I have seen people drive this pin. This is a bonus, though, for sure. This is one of the toughest par 3s you'll find out here.
Yeah, this is if you're 3ing this, you're feeling just fine about it. Christopher Leaks left. And not being able to see the basket. Sorry, Terry.
No, you're exactly right. Continue about not being able to see it makes it.
You really have to pick out a reference point on the fairway, and it looks like Sean throws the hyzer right at that tree, and you can see him landing right at the base.
Yeah, that's an instance where being a local, maybe more than anywhere else on this course, gives you the advantage. He has thrown that shot, that approach, probably hundreds or thousands of times. So knowing what he wants to be aiming at without seeing the basket is key.
And Rob as well, who's a veteran of this event and other events at this course.
We haven't seen Christopher in a lot of trouble, and just like that, I think looks like he's gonna be picking up a bogey here. He's stayed pretty clean thus far. He's 3 down going into this hole. He's 3 down for the round after shooting an 8 down overall for his first round.
So a difficult pace to keep up, but certainly still playing solid. His destiny's still in his hands, but you can't let too many 4s get to the scorecard after this.
And we're always just kind of keeping an eye on a fellow Illinois competitor to Christopher, and that's Dan Schlitter. He's had a really good front 9 on the chase card, and he's pushing forward quite hard from that chase card right now. And these guys don't even necessarily know that unless they're following along with the PDGA app. So you see the basket just up and over the the crest of the hill. This one is interesting because you have to crest the hill, then it plays down, and then back up. So it's relatively, at eye level, but the ground itself has a little bit of undulation. Is that a fancy enough word for you, Matt?
That's perfect. And there really is no hyzer line here. The line is what you see Robert do just there. Beautiful shot. Oh, and he's within 12 feet. Just beautiful.
Yeah, you really, the right-hander really just wants a turnover that's going to kind of just gently fight back, and Robert with a textbook drive there. And this one's tough for a forehander because if you keep it too far to the left, you're going to get caught up in some of those bushes and maybe not get all the way to the pin. And you see that Dustin actually comes up short. Yeah, that one stayed clean. I thought he was flirting with that left side set of bushes there, but somehow it stayed clean for him.
That footing could be tricky. That's going to be a good save if he can get it. Of course, he started the round 5 ahead of Dan, but Dan is charging from the chase card.
Yeah, we see Robert's second closest here if we're doing some math. This is also, just as a reference point, this is the closest part to the opening of the park. Wow. Great putt there by Sean Butler.
He loves it. He'll take it.
But as you come into the park, if you look to your right, this is the very first basket that you'll see.
You can see on this putt, you wonder in his backswing how much of the brush, and it has no effect. It's solid.
Yeah, if it was physically, in his swing whatsoever, it looked like he was just going to power through it and try and maintain his regular putting stroke, and clearly it was effective.
Beautiful birdie for Rob.
Dustin is going to be left out of the birdie party as the rest of the card picks him up. And by no means a gimme, but and not quite a bonus, but that's a solid birdie to get.
A great one, and especially 3 guys on the card.
That one ain't gonna be short.
This one, 201 feet.
It wouldn't be,
But kind of, you hear Sean talking. So he's close, but he's going to be blocked by that tree. This is just a little dump forehand. There is a right side route, Terry. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it's just a low, just a real tight, low shot. I personally would either be going with a backhand turnover or just trying to punch it up that right side gap. And that's only because I have 0 forehand. I do like that right side gap. It's gotten bigger throughout the years, so it becomes really a straight shot, and it's 201 feet downhill. So, a relatively easy shot, but all 4 of these guys, forehand proficient, as they all kind of filter right to the clump of trees, though, that are going to give them a little bit of an obstacle.
Well designed.
Sean did say he does not like this pin position. He likes the slightly longer pin instead. And I said, well, this is my favorite pin of the 2, so this is where it always is.
This is the classic. This is the classic setup.
And golf's a game of inches, right? Just this one set of trees on this 201-foot hole giving these guys so much trouble.
Let's see if Dustin can make good. The one branch in his way.
A little bit outstretched.
Nice putt. All arm.
And it does actually even, kiss off that branch, and it just powers right through it for the solo birdie.
And he gives it the love tap.
I've kind of asked that question in the past. Would you rather get a birdie on a really gettable hole and be along with everyone else, or would you rather get a birdie where everyone else gets par? Just psychology wise, what birdie feels better, all things considering. And Dustin missed the previous one on a tougher hole, but is the only one to get it on an easy hole. So somehow it all evens out.
I think you got to go recency bias. You want to be playing your best, the most recent. So I'll take whatever the last hole was. And he's going to be in trouble down there.
Yeah, that is a terrible kick. You have to be clean trying to pump it up this gap.
And you kind of, as the right-hand backhand thrower, you're kind of giving the Anheuser angle with something that you know is going to fade back toward the pin, back to that left side.
Yeah, to put this in perspective, it's 218 feet, and it is 100% common to see sharp edge disc thrown because it is so far uphill. You kind of want to turn it over out of your hand and then have it fight back slightly. I would say 90% of all players throw a sharp edge here.
All right, you're really going for shape rather than speed.
Yeah.
And you see Christopher a little bit short. That came out early.
I kind of felt like I was a buck, like rubbing up against the tree there, trying to get a good angle as Dustin is trying to fight up that left side, and that is just a world of hurt, and it's not over for him here. It's easy to let one slip away from you on this very short hole. I think this is the third shortest hole on the course, but like we saw, if you're not dialed in off that tee shot, you got a lot of work to do.
And this is one where it's not uncommon to have a backup. You've got the road on your right side. I mean, if you don't hit that initial gap, you're fighting, as we saw what happened to Dustin.
And even a mildest of runs finds its way to pop up and scoot away from him.
Yeah, that hits softly, but he's got a tester left.
I know Christopher is currently unsponsored by any major manufacturer. I think all four of these players actually would entertain phone calls from any major manufacturers. As Robert takes the birdie, and Robert, just like that, Christopher's got a little bit of work to do, and Robert's right there nipping on his heels.
Still anyone's game here with 3 holes left.
You were mentioning a backup on 6, also commonly a backup on 7, another tight tunnel shot, off the tee that can create that has just a lot of danger, and so sometimes the tee of 7 will be hanging out and watching the action here on the green of 6, as I thank El Guapo Baskets for the support. Now, here's in real time here as they wait on the tee of 7. Here's the chase card. Dan is at 10 under and makes just that for his par.
At 11 and Robert at 9. So
yeah,
his par will keep him at 10, but we've got a tight race, and you just wonder how much they know.
Yeah, just a few moments later, they clear off this green, and Sean with the honors. I don't know what kind of Velcro that is to bring that in the way it did.
I didn't see how that reacted, but
just smacked right off the tree and then sucked right into the left side.
And this is a nice shot by Rob. Unless you've got a big power forehand, you really just want to get it down there and bail out to the left and open up that angle to the basket.
Yeah, if you're landing where Ryan is, you have an easy up and down, and Christopher actually went too deep with the basket being to the right of him. He's going to have a little bit of work to do. You'd love to land right where Ryan is standing, or maybe just inside of that, and Dustin's got a great line here.
He puts a nice flex on it, gets a flare. And that's where you want to be. Well done.
Sean checking his follow through and his swing there.
And you don't see him forehand a lot.
No, and that's short. You know, he got the nose up on that. Otherwise, I think that would have been a good-looking shot, but he got the nose up. He did filter through the tree like it wasn't even there. He's got to be happy with that at least.
And you see Rob from his drive, nothing in his way. And he sails that a bit.
So you're looking at the tee of 8 is just behind him. That's on the left. And now he's got to try and kind of pitch out and around.
Great shot.
Oh, well done.
That is a phenomenal recovery shot. And Dustin with a long look at birdie here. This is a shot you'll take every single time. This is a good look.
Good height, but just shy.
I've really watched Dustin's game develop throughout the years, and he is a solid putter, and I would have not even blinked or batted an eye had he made that one. So I was a little bit shocked to see him not draw medal. Not quite his top performance here this afternoon.
Well, first year playing open and sanctioned events, he's shown himself well. I believe he was on Top Card, his event before this as well. And Rob knows he just left one.
Yeah, that's painful being that short, you know, coming up short and just knowing that he's so close with just a couple holes left to play.
And Sean with this left for bogey. Man, he puts that in. And you can see, if you hit early on this hole, you're playing for a 4.
And yet never really mad with a 3 on this one. Only a single birdie the entire day, or should I say the entire afternoon, on this hole. That was by another one of the locals in Jeff Matthews. So the 3 would have been a perfectly good score there on hole 7. And now here we are with Dan on 8.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
What did that do? Was it too vertical?
It looked like it hit pole and just came right back at him. And so Dan is going to take the par and remain at 10 under. And a few moments later, Christopher's throwing this drive.
Backhand roller goes deep of the pin.
So to give you some perspective, that's probably about 10 feet deeper than where Dan was just putting from a moment ago.
And Dustin lets his forehand go a little wide, a little low. But he'll have an open look as well.
Yeah, a forehand shot for Dustin really wants to aim right at Ryan, the cameraman, and then just hyzer to the right. That would be the ideal, flight path for him.
And Sean almost hits the pin.
That was, I was holding my breath there because that was tight to the right side bushes there, and I thought for sure he was going to get caught up in them, and he just misses them and then almost gets stopped by the pole.
And a third backhand roller. This is the shot, unless you have a power forehand. And Rob clears the corner as well, and it's closer than Sean's. What a shot.
Dustin, he's still going to have a look here. Not quite the payoff that we saw from the other rollers ahead of him or else on the card, but he still has a look. He's not able to capitalize. That looked good out of his hand. I thought he had that one.
It was a nice line, just short, and you just wonder how much he's thinking about the win.
Yeah, he has a one-stroke advantage currently from what we just saw a few moments ago anyway, that he's at 11. Dan, off the chase card, sits at 10, as Dan is in the middle of playing hole 9 as we speak. Dustin here is trying to close things out. So as before we get to the final hole, what might be the final hole, spoiler, I'd like to know what you guys think of the back half of this course. And then also, knowing that Dustin's a newer player to the pro division, put in the comments and tell me also what division you currently play in. And I don't care if you've never played a pro event or if you're not a rookie like Dustin, put it in the comments. If you're playing disc golf tournaments, I'd love to know what division you're competing in here in 2020, assuming you're getting out and able to compete in 2020 as we watch Robert take the birdie. So Christopher sits at 11 under. Robert sits at 9 under after picking up the birdie on the previous hole. And Dan, we believe, is at 10, although he's got holes 9 and 10 to play.
And 9 certainly gettable. 10 a little less so, but definitely within range. And hole 9, you guessed it, another tunnel shot.
Yeah, this is just straightforward. You know, it says 221. You only have about 170 before you get to the opening. And as long as you're kind of low and a little bit flat as a righty backhand, it should just kind of, you know, skip or filter right to the pin. And that's low, but I think because it was a putter, it did not continue the skip it needed.
Looks like Dustin's leaning on his zone again. And this looks good.
A nearly perfect tee shot there by Dustin Skorupinski. Chris sits at 11 under. And this is on a little bit of a mound, so he's trying to close out the tournament. But if you miss, this can pop up and roll away from you on the little bit of a mound it sits on, as Chris is trying to collect his thoughts.
And there is OB long. So if it rolls too much, that's what you're looking at.
Bang, bang. What a putt by Christopher. We'll see if that's going to be enough, but he is closed out with a birdie, knowing a fellow competitor from Illinois is on the chase card, trying to hunt him down. And all we can do is wait and see.
A great hit. And Sean as well.
As another sponsor and all-around great supporter, Sam's in the background. This is Robert, who sits at 9 under. Well, he's going to remain at 9 under, which will give him a third-place finish. Sean Butler's 8 under will put him in 4th. And Dan is not able to catch Christopher when it's all said and done. So Christopher at 12 under takes a one-stroke victory. And congratulations to him as they're going to start to add up the scorecard. Matt, pretty exciting weekend. We missed you, but thanks for joining on the commentary.
Thanks for having me, Terry. And it was that final putt that proved to be the difference for him. A great finish.
Incredible weekend. Thank you to all the supporters, the sponsors, my Patreon subscribers, everyone that came out and played. Of course, our title sponsor in Innova Champion Disc. The Cold Turkey 15 is in the books. I love you guys. Thanks for watching a little bit of Wisconsin disc golf, and we'll see you next one. I'm the Disc Golf Guy. We'll catch you next time.